Hey, hi, hello creatives, welcome back or to my channel. My name is Lindsay and today we are doing my 2023 reading journal flip through. I know it's a little late, but as you know, I've only recently just come back. So I'm just catching up and I want to catch up all of you guys with all of the journals. I recently posted a video of me filling out the last few spreads and doing the last couple of collages in this journal. So I'll definitely link that in the card above for you to check out if you missed that. But let's get started. So in this journal, as I am a slow reader, as you can tell from this video, I'm not able to fill up an entire journal in one single year because I don't read enough. So actually I have a little tab here. The first half is actually 2022 and then this next half is 2023. So I'll only flip through 2023 for you guys because I think I already have 2022 on the channel that I will leave in the description box below. But so this reading journal has been very fun to fill out. I of course fell off of it when my daughter was born, but it's been lovely to fill out and to keep. I'm very happy and I'm going to really enjoy looking back at this. But so my theme for this setup was like a cottagecore, greenery sort of vibe, and I really enjoyed it. I think there was books. It's hard though because in some of these spreads, there's not a lot of pictures and such going on. So it's a little bit more difficult to stay with a true theme. You'll see I have recorded already my 2024 reading journal setup that I will be posting as well, even though again, I'm behind, but I'd rather do it than not do it. And, encourage you folks to also start a reading journal in the middle of the year. And that's totally fine. Even if you didn't start it in January, that's totally fine. So yeah, 2023, very similar. I'll let you know what's in this journal versus what's in the 2024 journal. But I had a rating guide. For 2022, I didn't have a rating guide, and I was a mood rater where I didn't really know how to kind of rate books. It was very new to me still. So I wrote down this, and this actually helps me a lot. It doesn't have any 0.5s and 0.25s and that sort of thing. I had to keep it simple for myself. That would be a little bit too much for me. So I just have very generic. Most of my books will probably be rated a 4-star because I'm very easy to please. If I enjoyed your book and I would recommend it to somebody else, I'm going to be giving it a 4-star. So I also know that it's hard to get recommendations from some people, especially like, I don't want to say the hardcore book talkers, but like the people that are able to read hundreds of books a year. They tend to have more of a structure when they're rating their books, and it's hard that their 4 stars could be actually my 3 stars or their 5 stars. You know what I mean? Like it's just so different. So just because one person's 4-star book, if they really liked it, then that could still be their 3-star because their rating system could be slightly different, but mean the same thing for different types of stars. Anyways, it's all up to us as readers on what we decide we like the books for. So I guess once you find somebody that has the same interests and likes the same books, whether they've given it a 3, 4, or 5 stars, if they've liked it and you decide that you like the same type of books, then follow that person, because it's, every book is their own opinion, and just because I don't love a book doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to love a book. But anyways, that's enough about that. That was far longer than it needed to be. So my reading goal for 2023 was 20 books. I ended up reading 23. The last 2 were like short little novellas, and barely even novellas. One was only 149 page, one was 80 pages. But I did still technically reach my goal, and regardless on how long the book is, I still read it. And if you want to count all of the children's books that I've read to my children, I've read a lot more books than this, but we're keeping it as novels. But yeah, no, I've read 20 books. Well, my goal was 20 books. I read 23. I had 24 here just in case. My reading goal for 2024 will be 24 books. I'm already behind, and that's totally okay, but at least it's there. It's a goal, and I'm not going to be disappointed or feel any type of way if I don't reach that goal. That's totally fine. So these next pages, 2023 releases. I didn't really keep up with this. I kind of wrote these things in after the fact, just of different releases that happened this year that I was interested in, that, you know, and whether I read it. I should even like go through and if I bought it, because I have Happy Place. I read this one through an audiobook. I own Iron Flame. I own Wildfire. I own The Long Game. I did actually read this one. Crossed, I don't own Crossed. And I own Meet Me at the Lake. So I own a lot of them, but I haven't read them yet, but I still kept this spread in for my 2024, and I'm hoping to kind of be more on top of it month to month. So I might do a separate video catching up on the first 3 or 4 months. Haven't decided yet. I'm not sure. I don't want to put too much pressure on me, and I don't want to not do something for so long because I want to wait to record it. If I end up just doing it, then I do it and I can show you guys after. Recommendations, as you can see, I didn't use this. It would take up way too much space. The majority of my TBR list or books that I want to read at some point in my life generally come from TikTok, so it would literally take up the whole space. I only really have one book friend that likes to read books, that we chat back and forth about books, and a lot of the books that are, you know, we kind of chat back and forth on what's on our feed for TikTok. So again, it's kind of all coming from TikTok. So I didn't even bother. I didn't bother with this. But my yearly stats, this was really fun to fill out. I went and filled it out after the fact. I didn't keep up with it every month. I did fill it out at the end of the year, and I didn't end up having a totals. I ended up adding this after the fact, and I'm really liking having the total, and I will have the totals added. What am I trying to say? Words speak. I've added totals for my 2024 setup, and so I will, I don't have to add it in after the fact, but this still looks fine. This still looks totally fine. And I almost read 10,000 pages. Maybe that should be a goal of mine for 2024, but in 2022, it was funny, I read a couple borrowed books, but in 2023, nothing. I read only 7 of my own books, and but I read a total of 23. So a lot of them were audiobooks, and 2 of them ended up being ebooks right at the end of the year. And I didn't rate anything 1 star. I only rated 1 book a 2-star. And in August, that's so funny, I don't even remember what it was. To all the people out there that read hundreds of books, or even that are able to read, 5 books, 2 books, whatever in a year, it doesn't matter. If you're able to remember exactly what you've rated a book without hesitation, that you read last year, that you read 2 weeks ago, that's just plausible, or applausible, because I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I have no idea what I rated books. I need to have like a sticky note or something that I stick inside my books so that I have something to tell me what I rated them. I did actually, let's just be off topic for 2 seconds. I did get a new app and I want to show you because it's really fun. It's called Book Buddy. I ended up paying for it. It's only like $6.99 as a one-time fee, but I own 155 books. Like, how fun is that? And so this, I was able to go in and scan all of my books that I own. I'm sure some of you might already know about this, or if you have a better app, then that's great. But I went through and scanned all the books that I own, and then you'll see that blue, you're seeing my camera thing, but you have blue that says unread, purple that I finished, and then all of my ratings are here. So it's kind of fun to kind of be able to pull this up to see what books I own, what I've read, what I've rated them. So that's really fun. Anyways, okay, moving on. Here are the days read. In January, I definitely didn't love how I did it. I had physical, audio. The squares were when I finished a book. I didn't where it got confusing, because at first it was just if I read a book, but then I wanted to know if I've read it, an audiobook or a physical book, because more likely than not, at the beginning of the year it was fine, but later in the year, or at the beginning of the year, it was hard because I was able to, a lot of the times when I would go back and forth to work, I'd listen to an audiobook, and then sometimes in the evening I'd read a physical book, and I didn't really take into account in January like different color codings for when I read different books. So then I ended up changing it and wrote out my little key. So you'll see in November I didn't read anything, but that's when my daughter was born. So it's just kind of fun to see. I definitely don't read every day by any means, as you can tell, and there's like little things. It would be cool to know, because it's through the year, it'd be cool to know which ones are the weekends, because more times than not I don't really read on the weekends. So my husband's home and we normally do some sort of movie night one of the nights we might not even be home or not home till late. So I wasn't really reading on the weekends, but you can see like I'm assuming these are during the week. It's just funny to have a block of time. This is a pretty big block, but that's fun. And then I started to record all the books that I bought, and I ended up like through here, I just kind of wrote them all down, and I got rid of where I bought them and the genre and that sort of thing. I stopped kind of filling it out, but then there's a whole bunch more here. So that's kind of fun. But now in one of the other book apps that I use, and I'm just gonna show you again because it's so fun and I love it. Book Murray. I really enjoyed this one. That when I add to my TBR list, you can see these are the books that I've already bought this year. When I go in and add it, I ended up putting in, I don't have the bought version because it's a membership. I only have the free version. So there's a little bit of ads there, but no big deal. But I'm able to put in like purchase logs and where kind of I bought it from and where, like what date I bought it, the price and stuff. So I'm just curious to see what this kind of looks out. So I'm able to kind of have a bunch of stuff digitally as well as paper copy, because I can't always update my journals at the time that it happens. So I like to have a digital copy of the information that I want to record physically. And I mean, I'm sure some of you are like that. I'm sure some of you don't do that, and that's totally fine. But that's just what I like. I really like Book Murray as well, because when I record in the days that I've read the books, I'm able to kind of like, it shows you as a calendar, which let me just show you again. Sorry. Again, I'm so excited. Okay, so book calendar. It's able to kind of show me. So as you can see, I don't read that much. These are mostly all audiobooks right now. And it's my first time reading the Harry Potter series. So, but yeah, so it's able to kind of show you throughout the month, like the books that you read and the day that I read. And I love that the book covers are here. Like I love how that's set up. That's such a great app for that purpose. So anyways, that's a little tangent that I went on about my little book apps, but this is a reading journal flip through. So book content and book talk is all good. So then I have a physical TBR. As you can tell, I only read 2 of those books. I randomly just picked 9 books that I own that I wanted to kind of read, but this is not really for me because I'm more of a mood reader. But now I think I might add books that I've had on my list since, like, for the longest time, of like ones that I really want to read. So yeah, I do have this spread in my 2024 as well as this one, but now this physical library is going to be 2 pages, and I'm going to add in all of the books that I own and gray out the ones that I have read of the ones that I have, and I'm going to do it probably as of January, or even just I'll put as of, April, and then write them all in, because I want to read my physical library. It's ridiculous. I know we all agree. I know it's a common consensus across the board. Buying books, reading books, 2 separate hobbies. We all are aware. We all know. Please explain that to my husband, but we all know that. Anyway, so physical library, this becomes 2 pages in my 2024, and I did crappy last year. But again, a lot of when I'm reading is in the car and listening to audiobooks, and I generally don't use a credit of my audiobook on something that I own physically. So yeah, is what it is. So here's just, I love seeing this. Oh, I didn't fill in what I've rated the stars. I'll go in and fill that after, but what I rated each book. But here you can see all of the books that I read. I love being able to see the covers. Obviously, I went and read all of the Twisted series, and if you watch my last video, you'll see that I did collage spreads for all of those. Anything I rated 4 stars and above, you'll see a collage. So then my book of the year spread, this one, as I started filling it out, I'm sure, I don't know if any of you guys noticed if you watched my 2023 setup video, but like if you see like Midnight Library or Akamov, and then you go to Akamov, and then like it ends with us, but like I kept like this one, it ends with us or things we left unfinished, and then things we left unfinished or the fine print, and then look, I ended up having things we left unfinished against each other, so obviously that one. I did really like this though, because then you kind of gave other books kind of second options, and I do something kind of similar like this once you get down to the last couple, where you could have the same book kind of go against each other, but this kind of, it only felt redundant when I was constantly ended up having to write the longest book title that I read last year. The longest book all the way almost till the end, or basically to the end. It just didn't make it as my favorite book of the year, but and then you can see there's 2 months that I didn't read anything. So I basically just took the book that was my favorite. Generally speaking, it was the one book that had the most star rating for that month, but I took my favorite of the month, and if there was only one book that I read that month, then it was automatically put there. But yeah, you can see that in August and November I didn't read anything, so then obviously this one won. But anyways, A Court of Mist and Fury. What a time to be alive to read that for the first time again. Okay, and then my 5 stars, I went in and filled that after. My honorable mentions, basically any of my 4 stars, 5 stars, books that I just really enjoyed. My book bingo, I did okay, but I did get a bingo if you count a diagonal line. I don't know if that counts. I honestly don't know, but that's so funny. Like, that's just really funny. Anyways, like one off. Anyways, series tracker, I ended up doing this as a double page in my new journal because it's just, I have a lot more on the go than just this. So yeah, I definitely want to have the series tracker bigger in the next one. So that's what I did. And then I didn't really use this because I didn't really read any Kindle books or the Books app on my iPhone, but I do still have this spread in 2024, and my thoughts are, I did go through like the Stuff Your Kindle Day a few months ago, and I did add a bunch of books onto my Kindle, so I think I'm going to add just a listing of all the ones that I've purchased or that I've gotten for free that I physically, or not physically, but like I digitally own on Kindle, and kind of write them out instead of having the book covers, and kind of do it more as a listing is what I think I'm going to do. And then be able to, like, if it's in a series, because I feel like that's the hard part about the Stuff Your Kindle Day or books that are really cheap on Kindle or that are free. They tend to be, you get the first book for free, but it's like now one of 6 books. So it's part of a series, and sometimes that's frustrating because I don't want the commitment of starting a whole new series. I want a standalone. And I'm sure, some of you, or all of you, probably experience it, where you just want a standalone book, you read it, it's over. You don't have to then commit yourselves to 8 books or 4 books even, or 3 books even. So yeah, I definitely want to write down all the ones that I have, and if they're a part of a series, and if the series are just standalone series, so it doesn't really matter the order that you read them in, or if it's legitimately part of a series. So yeah, but this is still a double page, but that's my plans for 2024. And then this is blank, because just in case I came up with a spread later, so that's why I have this page. Obviously I didn't come up with a spread, but so now we're into my monthly spreads. You'll see this does eventually change, but here's January. I wrote up the books that I've read. I wanted to put like my favorite like book cover here, but because I don't read that many books and I already have the book covers here, I have enough room. I ended up just circling it or putting a square around it. And then this is when I was at the beginning putting half stars, so I didn't quite know how to do that, so I kind of put it off to the side. I don't love how I did that, but it is what it is. I definitely, you can able to tell, 1 4-star, 1 5-star, 1 is in between, generally 4.5 stars. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I just don't love the way it looks, but it's all good. Total pages, and then my stats of what kind of book I kind of read. Because again, I don't need to have the type of authors that I've read, the genres. I literally read 1 of 2 genres. I'm definitely, I guess this is like a fiction book. So not generally a romance. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, most of my books are romance or fantasy romance. So yeah, I don't find that necessary. So again, anything that I didn't rate 4 stars or above, I didn't do a collage spread on. I just did a double page with the cover and then the stats about it. I do want to go in and write a little blurb here, like of what my rating was, I think, but we'll see if I actually get to that or not. I have it digitally, so that's great, but I might add it here. But I do have a separate idea that I'm going to do for the books that I've read so far, and I will get into that at the end of the video of what I'm going to do as just an overview, essentially. I'll show you at the end. It's, very quick, but yeah. So this one, and then Things We Never Got Over, this was done as a collage spread. I talked about, I think in my 2022 flip through, that I wanted to actually go in and write the characters' names, what I rated it, and the dates that I read it. I know in the last couple that I just did, I put the star rating on and I put the dates that I read. So I think I wanted to go in and add just that basic information because literally don't remember. Things We Never Got Over. This was the first Lucy Score book that I read, and Daisy, I think her nickname was Daisy. That's too funny. I literally don't know. Yep. Nope. Don't remember. But Knox and Daisy, but I don't remember. Naomi. There we go. Look at me. Ha, nailed it. Anyways, took a minute, but no, I'm not going to do that for the rest of them. Don't worry, because that's a game I do not want to play with everyone to see how bad I am at remembering things. Remembering books that I read. I generally have a good memory. But The Midnight Library, I really enjoyed this book. I know it's not for everybody, but I just really enjoyed the perspective of this book and the overall, what I believe the point of this book was that, like, to be happy in your current life, that the grass is not always greener on the other side. So at least that's what I got from it, and that was really great. So yeah, really enjoyed that one. And then we go into February, read 3 books, 1 physical, 2 audiobooks. And then I started to actually, this is when I changed it. So this is the pages I read. This book was 624 pages. And then between these 2 books, it was 22 hours worth. So instead of indicating these as pages, I put these as the actual hours because they were audiobooks. But I would like to, I think for 2024, I put in brackets 22 hours, which is equivalent to say, 500 pages or 700 pages, whatever it is. And so fun fact as well, for these monthly setup pages, this one was kind of all over the place, but these are generally for my reading journal because it was still new for me. I ended up just using kind of scraps. These are part of my bullet journal videos, that pages or pictures and stuff that I print out from Pinterest. Give me 1 second. So sorry, I know that was literally not even a second for you, but for me, my son woke up and needed to use the bathroom because it is 11:53 on April 24th at night. So anyways, okay, I think what I was saying was that I use leftover pages or leftover pictures from my bullet journal to make these spreads. And I always print out so many pictures from Pinterest for my bullet journal stuff, and it's just a great way to use it here. And because I want to use my scraps, I want to use all the stuff I print out. So that's what I use. 1,000 Boy Kisses. What a great book. What a heartbreaking, beautiful, wonderful book. My Brother's Billionaire Best Friend. I was reading a bunch of audiobooks at the time, so I would always go on to the audiobook catalog and find a free book to read, because I always wanted to have a book reading for, every time I was going into work, and sometimes I would finish a book in the month before I'd actually get the next credit. So I always ended up reading a billionaire trope book, and I really enjoyed it. It's fluff. It was very nice going back and forth to work, reading these, and it was just really nice to read. Court of Mist and Fury, perfection, literal perfection, and hats off to all of the people that do fan art for these books, literally so talented. I do have a Pinterest board of all of the pages all of the pictures that I save onto that Pinterest board of the pictures that I use. So definitely check that out if you're interested in any of the pictures you see. But yeah, this book is literally perfection. March. This is the last month I'm actually doing separate months instead. You'll see what I do differently. Read 3 books again. That tends to be the rate of the books that I read per month. It Ends With Us. Things We Hide From the Light. Oh, love them. Ended up doing this one as more of a grid style instead of layering. Really enjoyed that. Homebody, this was just a poem book. So I printed out some of the poems that really connected with me and that I really liked. Really like how simple this spread is. And then now I'm doing quarters because I don't read enough books in a month. Before, in the beginning of the year, I was reading about 3 a month, but here you can see in 3 months I only read 5. So it just April, because I know for a fact I didn't read any books in April, I don't think. So it was kind of this is what I did instead, which is great. So, and I like this a lot better. So now it just seems more, not more rewarding, but it seems like I've done more because it's 3 months totaling instead of just 1 month. So second quarter, Aka War, great book as well. Things We Leave Unfinished. I say that I want to put the star ratings, but you can kind of tell if there's a spread like this, it's either 4 or 5 stars. So that's I guess I kind of know. This was such a great book. I loved this book so much. I ended up buying the physical copy of this book because this was just so beautiful. The Hardest Fall, loved this book. This was I believe this was a free audiobook. I think it was part of the catalog. Great book. It's my first, I believe Ella Mays is the author of this book, and it was my first one, and she has a lot of different books out, so definitely introduced me to a new author for sure. I read a lot of Max Monroe books. She has a lot of billionaire tropes that this is a part of a series. So I just apologize to the page. That's the Canadian in me. Just literally apologize to the page for crinkling it. But yeah, this is a part of a series. So I definitely did go through and start to read a bunch of these books because they were mostly included in the audiobooks, the audiobook catalog. I tend to look at that when the first one's free. I go and make sure that a couple of them are free. However, I did fail on that one, but third quarter, July, August, September. We have our book stats here. I ended up reading 5 again as well. Banking the Billionaire. Oh, and I'm gonna have to pause once again. Okay, sorry. And again, 2 seconds for you. Well, not even a millisecond for you. But had to go tend to the other child. Oh, the joys of momming at midnight. But you think you're in the safe zone to record a video, and you're just not. But that's life, and that's okay. Hence why I also took a break from YouTube for a little bit, but that's okay. All right, back to my train of thought. Whatever it was, you're gonna have to remind me. I'm not quite sure. But Banking the Billionaire, I believe this was the second book in something that I already read here. Yeah, this was Tapping the Billionaire, Banking the Billionaire. This is the next one. Max Monroe. Super fluffy books. Nothing spectacular. As you can tell, they're not collage pages, but they definitely are entertaining, and they definitely really enjoy listening to them on the way to work. So, but again, yeah, see, I have a space here for my review. Haven't added it. Will I? who knows? The fine print, this was one of the books that did have, it was on Audible, but then I didn't realize until after I read the first book that the second two books are not on Audible. So I was very frustrated. So when that happened to me, I was able to listen to the fine print, and then when I finished this one, I went to go get the next book, and it wasn't available, and that was super frustrating. So now I've read the first one, but I haven't read the next two. I believe they're available on Kindle Unlimited. I'm not 1000% on that. Maybe they're not. I don't really know. I felt like they were, but who knows? But I definitely still have to read the next two because I really enjoyed the series, or I really enjoyed like this first book, obviously. It's here in a collage spread, which is great to have, to know what my kind of top favorite books are, because 4 or 5 stars, like there's a small difference definitely between them, but it's like, it's still such a great book. So I definitely was pretty frustrated when I realized that I couldn't read the next one, but that's okay. I went and read a physical book. This one actually took me so long to finish. As you can see, May 16th to August 22. I enjoyed it. Was it necessary? No, like it just kind of fell off for me a little bit. I did love that you were able to kind of see different perspectives really from it, but to go back into that world was great. But there wasn't a lot happening in my opinion. And it just was, I was struggling to get through it. And maybe it was just the time of life when I was going through my probably first March, April, May. It was my first trimester, going into my second trimester of being pregnant. So that's definitely has a factor on how many books I read or what I was reading and how much energy I actually had for it. So, okay, next, Twisted Love. This is what I started to listen to as an audiobook after I realized the fine print next books were not on it, or like the Dreamland series was not on Audible still. So I started to read the Twisted series, and I really enjoyed the overall series. Did I love this book? No, I didn't really buy the connection, I remember, but I still wanted to continue it because I like to complete things. Projects, no. Journals, no. But when I start a series, I definitely want to finish it. And I didn't realize until after I looked that actually it's a common consensus across the board that Twisted Love is generally not as well liked as the others. So I'm very happy that I ended up keeping with the series because Twisted Games was 4 stars. This was a great book. Really enjoyed the chemistry between these two, the banter. And then in my fourth quarter, I read 4 books. These 2 were audiobooks. These 2 were on my ebook, Kindle. And I'm just overall happy that I was able to read the 4 books. So that's great. And here we are, Twisted Hate. I believe this is commonly most people's favorite, but I ended up really liking. Twisted Lies was my 5 stars, and I honestly think this was my all-time, I think this is my favorite spread from this journal. I love this collage so much. It could be because it's literally my most recent one, but I just went through the whole book and I think this is honestly my favorite. I love the grid style. I am a girly that loves to layer, but this grid style is lovely. I think the spread just turned out so good. And it worked out that it ended up being on a 5-star read, so that's great. But no, loved this book, love this spread, love everything about it. And then the last 2, didn't rate them. I ended up rating this one a 4 stars because this one was just really cute and fun, but with a book that's only 149 pages, I didn't even bother looking to see if there was pictures on Pinterest that were already kind of put into an aesthetic essentially for this book, and I didn't want to kind of do my own thing, so I ended up just doing this kind of title pages. And you can see actually I changed it here that oh my goodness, what is happening here? I ended up changing from doing it as a double spread to only a 1 page because I realized that I only had a couple more pages left and I wasn't sure if I was going to run out. Look at my washi tape. Anyways, yeah, no, I was worried that I wasn't going to have enough pages, so I ended up changing it so that these ones were only on one single page instead of a double page. So I like that. I think I'm going to continue doing that moving forward, just because it's just, it doesn't take, no, actually. Okay, that's great that I said that, because it's kind of going to bring me to what I'm going to do for 2024. Again, my 2024 setup is coming out, but I do not mention this next part, which is, but I do not mention when I'm recording the videos, but I haven't done the voiceover for that video yet, so I will definitely mention it in that video. But I'm going to not add these types of spreads to my new journal. I'm only going to include 4 stars, 5 stars, like collage spreads like this instead of these ones. I'm going to actually have this traveler size notebook, and I'm actually going to start it at the back, and I'm not sure if you can see that, but so review 1, I'm going to have the book cover, because why would you not have the book cover? The different information about the book, the start, when I started it, when I finished it, a synopsis of the book, because I couldn't for the life of me do it. So I'm going to, find either what's on the back of the book or a summary online or something, and then any kind of quotes that I like, because I've been starting to, especially on my Kindles, I have been, or my Kindle, not plural, on my Kindle, I have been, highlighting some of the quotes and stuff that I like. Here in this section, it's going to be what I rate it. I'll put in black, I'll put the 5 stars here, and then I'll color in what I've actually rated it, and then I'll put the little blurb of what I review it. And I'm actually going to do this for all of my books, and I'm going to start at the back so that when I open it, it's going to be the most recent book that I've read, and kind of work it that way. Different, but I think it's going to be really fun. And I'm going to go back to not just starting 2024. I'm going to go back to play back to most likely 2022. This is when I started the journal, but I think I read a couple of books in 2021. So I just won't add in some of the books that I read a long, long time ago. But I think I actually might start with the 2 books that I read in 2020, which were the first 2 books in the Harry Potter series. And I think that's where I'll start, and I'll go through and rate it all in here. Because again, I don't read hundreds of books a year. I read 23 books. I read 23 books in 2023. And in 2022, I read 17. So again, I don't read a lot. I'm not dumbing down the amount of books that I read, because I still think it's fantastic. You read 2 books a year, 1 book a year, it doesn't matter. You read whatever you're able to read, but I definitely like that, to kind of have in here all of the books that I've kind of read, and then I'll continue to keep this. And I just think it'll be cool to kind of flip through literally all of the books that I've read with all of the little book covers, and I'm pretty excited about that. So that's what I'm going to have set up for my 2024. I'm also using a Costco notebook because I want to use up my notebooks. I don't want to waste notebooks, and even though they're yellowy pages, I don't love that, but I'm still going to use it. But so that is my 2023 flip through of my reading journal, and that's it. I ended up, I just wanted to show you quickly. This is I went through with my Dymo, whatever, label, and I ended up putting it on a few of my journals that I have out, so that when it's on my shelf, I'm able to see what it is and the year. So I didn't go through and do this until at the very end. So I won't do this for journals until I've actually finished them, so I know what year it was from. So this will be fun and exciting to do, but it is a little harder on this notebook because it's textured, but I did go in and add glue here so it stays a little bit better. But that is my 2023 reading journal flip through. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, stay tuned for my 2024 reading journal setup. I have May planned with me coming out soon. I'm going to do a 2023 bullet journal flip through soon. I'm going to set up my collections. I have all the things coming out that I didn't do at the beginning of the year, but I'm still going to do because Who cares that it's already April, very soon to be May? Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me, because if you're not searching it for it right now, you will start to search it for it in the new year for 2025, and you'll still, doesn't matter what year it's for, it'll still be relatable, and it's still always fun to look at those videos. So I hope you'll like them, but if you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for watching. Again, I hope you like, comment, share, subscribe, all of the things. It means so, so much to me and helps this channel grow, and I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye.